personality. In the personality, we become deaf. If we push away, we become deaf to that music. And rhythm is a way of overcoming it to a certain degree. Any questions? No.
It made me think of the time in Christian calendar that we just went through, Christ going out to the wilderness and kind of going into that emptiness and losing the self, and the denial of self, and then therefore opening up to the grace that then can reach further.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's very hard, that whole stuff we develop, we become attached to, and we get the fear of death. Yet we don't know that we're already in a sort of death through the false self. And so really letting go of that, and really we need to surrender to those impulses from, surrender is one word to use, but also we can just say we need to allow ourselves to be filled with that astral content that can educate, the chakras, re-stimulate the chakras, and so that we can then be in a relationship with the world that we're meant to be in a relationship with the world with. We're at a relationship, we're at a sync as virtue of our learning, our hereditary and environmental influences on our learning. And so we don't grow anymore. We can't grow. We have effectively stopped our growth, because our growth depends on that resonance between those, that reality we created when we incarnated, and the reality we're creating now as living beings.
Makes me think of the impossible circumstances that some people are born into. I mean, and the idea that is being prepared before birth as a karmic situation.
There's one caution though. We are not the only beings with karma on the planet. So we have our karma, but we experience also the circumstances of karma of other beings, specifically Lucifer and Ahriman. So we incarnate at this time, and Lucifer and Ahriman have their karma, and we have our karma, and so we meet the circumstances in the world that are a result of their karma also. So it's not my karma, say, to die in a plane crash. That's Ahrimanic karma. It's not my karma to even necessarily be killed due to a hate crime. That's Luciferic karma. My reaction to those circumstances, though, creates new karma for me, or takes me through my karma. And I'm not responsible for those circumstances. That's because Lucifer and Ahriman have jurisdiction over this reality, except they don't have jurisdiction over this reality unless we give it to them. But they have jurisdiction over all of this. Our wisdom and power is theirs. Only love has the Lord kept for himself. And through the direct relationship with that love, we can, find our way. But so we don't. It's not this whole thing of blaming karma or even blaming God for the work of Lucifer and Ahriman in the world. Really is not the way it is. And we ourselves either give ourselves over to the sway of that or not. Sure, it makes it difficult. It's environmental. So the environmental aspects are going to affect our learning. And then you have the heredity. So both of these things are going to affect us and how we have the capacity to find our karmic way.
So those temptations.
Exactly, the temptations. Exactly. So, Satan shows up and says, I can help you overcome all of these circumstances I've created for you. Just give me access. Give me access to what I don't have access to, which is that they don't have access to the spiritual reality. They have access through their spiritual capacity, they have access over the physical and material world and the mental world. They have no access. That's why they were taken away. You don't have access anymore. So they don't have access to the spiritual world anymore. They want access through us. That's the gate for them.
I heard an anthroposophical neurologist speak once, and he talked about, I told this to early childhood, it's kind of, but he said that we're each one with an harmonic being that provides like an electromagnetic function in our bodies or something, and that if, say like if a child comes into the world and the senses don't unfold in a healthy developmental way, that being then kind of finds its way to, I guess, mess with us in some way, finds its way to gain power, not particularly to do its function, but to have, power in a sort of way. So.
I mean, we're definitely, there are minds who are beings associated with our living.
Mm-hmm.
I will say that. And, and exactly, they can attach themselves to us depending on how we, now, there's a degree of innocence. It's not like you have to, I don't really believe that Lucifer and Ahriman have access to our spiritual resources by default. We have to at some point give it over to them. That's how it's set up. So the ideal that somehow the ego forces and waking the ego forces up too early in human beings is a problem, because then that ego is untrained and unready to meet these forces, and so it then could more likely enter a relationship with these beings. So the ego shouldn't be awakened until the individuals have appropriate resources, foundational resources to, in a sense, wield the ego against what might come against it. But it has to be an act of our ego. We're not, unless we have done something karmically in a previous life, theoretically, that by virtue that we were going to be given jurisdiction. I kind of doubt that. That doesn't jive with my sense of the morality of the world, the logos, that we can be given over. It's kind of like the story of Job in a way, that, okay, you got him, you get to have him, but in the end, of course, by grace, everything is returned 100-fold, to him. So there's not this thing where we are abandoned by God in any way, except by our choices to abandon God. Otherwise, it would be hell on earth. And I don't believe in hell on earth except by our own making and choosing. God hasn't created, that sort of circumstance where we can lose ourselves without even, in our innocence. In a sense, we can't lose ourselves in innocence. We can only lose ourselves once we have awakened and can make choices. Anyway, I choose to believe that. Anyway, I don't want to contemplate the other world, make great sci-fi maybe, but I hope I'm not living that situation.
So I have a question too, about this this painting you do with children, for the yellow and the blue, where it seemed like you explained it to me, where destiny and heredity are supposed to kind of meet with the child and kind of help that meet, so there's not that empty.
Right.
Is that?
It's very much trying to keep that model body engaged in a relationship, so that those aren't developing in a way that is, that is askew. You're very much through that art activity trying to work with that connection with the model body. Mm-hmm. And this idea that should be molding, heredity should be molded by the model body. And it shouldn't be molded, the hereditary influences in the environment shouldn't be the things that are creating them molding, the sculpting of the human being. The model body should sculpt, but often the environment does sculpt, and often as parents, we want to sculpt, we aren't allowing the child to sculpt themselves out of freedom, we are there sculpting and giving the hereditary influences more predominance in the child's life. And as teachers, we can end up doing that too. So that's the talk I gave to that Unitarian Church. That's online because they end up recording that so that you can get access to it.